Acropora, or Acros as we often call them in the hobby, are the poster child for how difficult this hobby can be. This is a species that was once only successfully kept by a handful of reefers, but innovations in reefing equipment and a better understanding of coral husbandry have made keeping Acroporas possible for the masses. When it comes to keeping Acropora long term, it all starts with picking a healthy specimen to begin with. Acros come in many different shapes and colors, but most of the ones found in the hobby have been selected over time for their bright colors. The best tip we've found for selecting frags is to prioritize the health of the tissue. Colors should be vivid, not brownish or pale, and tissue should look rich. It's best to opt for frags that have already begun to encrust over the frag plug. The more established the frag, the better. If this is your first acro, we highly recommend opting for an aquacultured frag, as some of these legacy strains that have been in the hobby for many years are tank conditioned and much hardier. As many of you know, we are probably a little bit more relaxed when it comes to acclimation than a lot of other reefers. When it comes to Acroporas and most other SPS, however, we do take acclimation very seriously. We recommend you drip acclimate all of your acros for at least 60 to 90 minutes to allow them more time to adjust to changes in water parameters. Stability is the key for coloring up and growing your acros, so might as well start them off on the right foot by making their acclimation process as slow and steady as possible. We highly recommend that you dip your Acroporas for pests, especially wild specimens. Most acropests are relatively treatable if caught early, but others can be very challenging, so it's definitely ideal to do everything you can to avoid introducing them in the first place. Our preferred dip for Acroporas is potassium chloride. It's great for removing hitchhikers and it's relatively easy on the corals. Acros have much higher lighting and flow demands than basically any other corals we keep in our reef tanks. For this reason, it is usually best to place them in the upper third of the aquarium. Acros will color up best under high par and will achieve best growth and overall health with strong, randomized water flow. Observe your acros daily to make sure that polyp extension is adequate and watch for changes in coloration. Corals browning out is generally evidence of excess nutrients in the water, and bleaching or pale corals can be a sign of other problems like improper lighting or stability issues. Acroporas are not usually observed to take in particulate foods directly like most other LPS corals, for example. They tend to have all their energy demands met with adequate lighting and maintaining trace elements. Anecdotal evidence has shown that they may benefit from broadcast feeding of amino acids. If you have success with your Acroporas, you will notice them seemingly growing faster by the day. We all strive to have great big beautiful colonies like the ones you see in the wild, but due to space constraints, that's just not always possible. When it comes time to frag your acro, you're going to want to make it as stress-free on yourself and the coral as possible. For colonies that cannot be removed from the tank, it is best to use a pair of bone cutters to cut the tips of the branches you'd like to make frags out of. If possible, taking the colony out of the tank and using a bandsaw may allow for more precision and quicker cutting, but it's certainly not necessary. We tend to use a mix of both of these two methods around the farm. Well guys, I hope this video has given you some useful tips that will help you out on your acro journey, or perhaps even given you the courage to try out your first acro if you've been trepidatious. Thank you guys for watching, please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.